Hey, Chris here. Let's talk about temporary podcast studios at live conferences. So you've probably seen this if you've ever attended a conference where there's all booths and aisles and you go look at all the booths, especially at podcasting conferences. But nowadays at all kinds of conferences, there will be certain booths that they set up a little mini podcast studio right there in front of everybody. And then they do interviews there and stuff like that. So, it's a temporary studio. And there's two different types. One is an enclosed space where it's literally like four walls with the ceiling, and then there's like a little studio inside. Now, I've used one of these before with a previous client. I went on site and they rented a booth, and I brought the recording equipment, and we did interviews inside that little enclosure. The one that I used was not airtight. Like it just wasn't airtight, and in the corners there were big gaps, and so the sound, it wasn't really soundproof. But I'm sure there are other booths you could rent that are probably a lot more expensive that would be more soundproof. So you have the enclosure option, or then you have just what I would say the open air option, where you just kind of set up a few mics on a table and there's no walls or enclosure. And you're sitting in a booth and there's people walking around, there's conference noise going on, and you just sit there and interview people or talk to people. Now, in both these scenarios, probably the most important thing is that each participant stay really close to their microphone, right? Now, I know one of the reasons people like to record on location is because they actually want to hear the buzz and the hum of the crowd, which is fine. But you don't want the crowd noise to be too loud. You still need to hear each participant's voice loud and clear, and with a little bit of sound in the background for ambiance. Okay, I get it, but you can't just put a Blue Yeti in the middle of a table and think you're going to have a conversation that sounds good. You're not. You need mics for each person, and each person has to be close to their mic. Now, one thing you could do if you really want the ambient sounds, set up another mic just pointing at the crowd and record that. And that way, in post-production, you can put in a little bit of that crowd noise. You can put in as much as you want, a lot or a little or medium, whatever. So anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. So pretty quick, pretty simple, and a couple just, a couple words of wisdom and experience that I've had in that area. So, all right, well, that's it for today. Don't forget, you can listen to the Podcast Engineering Show. That's our podcast, and sign up for the daily goodie emails, little tips and tricks. And of course, podcastengineeringschool.com. That's where I have the full course where I teach people how to become professional podcast producers, work from home, and earn a lot of money. So a lot of people like that, believe it or not. Working from home, earning a lot of money, being a professional in your field. Wow. All right, that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.